Guten Tag, meinen Model Maniacs. This is Panzerman Bill of Panzerman's Bunker. Jawohl. Coming to you with my start build video for Alex Modeling and Panzerman Bill, Panzerman's Bunker, Lemon Group build, fellas. The juicier the better. Polish those turds in the gems, fellas. Woo! I'll show you my start-proof video. This is my first entry. I plan on doing 2 entries for the lemon build, but this is my first one. Dun, 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 dun. It's the old Nitto Kettenkrad Kettenkrad 2 with the 37mm gun. It's an old kit, probably from the 70s. Looks fairly decent when you look at it at first, but there are some serious problems with this kit as far as proportion and erroneous looking parts, and I will document that in a minute or two. First, let's look at the quality of the molding, which is pretty good. Dun, 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 dun. Lemon Bill, juicy, juicy. All right, here's the first sprue. I got all the sprues lined up. The quality is pretty good. It's a real crisp, molding and everything. Kind of like all the type of like Tamiya kits. The molding is nice and crisp. Just a little bit of flash. No misaligned molds, so no problems there. Surface detail is decent for this kind of an old dated kit. It's not too bad. I was looking it over. At first I was pretty enthralled. I was like excited. I hadn't seen this kit before, but the more I looked at, the more things just didn't look right. When I broke out my reference materials and I even compared it with the Tamiya kit, I found some pretty bad errors. Even the pack 37mm guns got problems with it, and I'll document that too with my start build here. Here's the some of the figures that came with it. Pretty poor looking as far as sculpting quality, kind of chunky. And I'm gonna have to check the measurements on them. I think they're way short too for 35 mil, for 1/35 scale. But good paint job should dress them up a little bit. Aside from documenting the problems with this build, I will not be correcting anything. I want to show it in all its juicy goodness. I'm just gonna build it and paint it up, and then let it stand for itself. Comes with fairly decent decals, Tamiya quality, And lastly, this sprue right here with all the equipment on it. Even there's problems even with the equipment. Shape and size and proportions are just a little bit off on everything. It's like this kit went through the Xerox machine about 20 times, and you start to get a little drift and things start to get misshapen. Even the weapons, they kind of look like the German weapons, but they're not. They're, just something off about them. Alright, balls. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, here's the instruction sheet. I kind of call it a kind of a Kettenkrad. It's not exactly a Kettenkrad, it's kind of one. Of course, being in Japanese, it's of no use to me. Alright. Parts layout. Okay, this is where I start talking about what's wrong with this thing. Okay, let me get to the first page. There we go. Right off the bat, looking at it, this hinge section here. This is the fork on the front with the wheel and everything. Kind of looks right, but when you look at it closer and look at references, it's off. This thing right here that holds the forks to the body, when it's together, it should have like a more sloped appearance to it, and not this boxy straight in look. Same thing with the forks. It shouldn't be a straight bar, it should be this rounded coupling here. Alright. Coming down, looking at the body of the Kettenkrad, this is way too tall, or way too deep as far as the regular Kettenkrad. It's going to make it way out of proportion. Also, the shape of the front end here is wrong. It should have this bulged out like a receptacle here for the transmission, planetary gears and everything to drive the Kettenkrad motor. It's way too simplified. It's starting to pile up with the errors. Road wheels look halfway decent. I'm up here to the next step. This is where it really starts to go wrong. The actual engine and the body of the Kettenkrad, it would sit down in here. The driver straddles the engine, and then the transmission and the planetaries. This is totally erroneous. This is not what our Kettenkrad engine compartment looks like. It should kind of resemble this. The big engine back here comes down to like a transmission and all this, and then the planetaries and the gears and everything go out to the drive wheels. And even has this like a little footrest that go down for the driver to lay his feet on. None of that is represented here. Even the way they got this seat sitting on it, on the real Kettenkrad, it should be like a bicycle seat coming down on top of the this transmission part. And it should have 2 gear shifts, not on the kit. Alright, further documenting the problems. The front end is too simplified. It should have this like scalloped an indent for the fork and have this ledge right here. None of that's represented. Wrong. The fork itself, when it's together, it should have the headlamp on this angle part right here and then go straight back to the handlebars. It shouldn't have none of this cross members here, just for structural support to hold it together. And again, the wrong shape of the coupling that goes to the body. Also, the distance between the drive wheel and the first set of bogies is way too wide on the kit. Should be tighter on the real vehicle. So all these are starting to add up to make us a real lemon, fellas. Lots of errors, lots of little errors that just start to snowball out of control. On the back here, this housing right here should lift up, and these should also lift up. So this should be hinged and separate, but they molded it all complete with the body. It's another little error that adds up. Again, this is the wrong shape. You know, this fender's part should come straight through, like on this illustration right here. Plus, it's missing these tow hooks. The kit doesn't provide it. Also, the rear end of the vehicle, this little housing right here for the light and the convoy light and the license plate is the wrong shape. It should have more of a sloped in and then tapered at the top. It's even missing the little tail light there. Also, with the actual engine compartment that flips up, should be 2 separate screened areas, not these whole bunch of little squares. So it's lots and lots of little errors that start to make this thing a Kettenkrad-like machine and not a real Kettenkrad. Alright, finally, the toe pintle itself is wrong. It's not just this little 2-channel, shackle type deal right here. It should actually have a taper down and a long, toe pintle right here. And even the mud flap is missing the reflector that should be on it. So, I mean, I started documenting, seeing all these errors. And they just keep adding up. Figures are too short and out of proportion. I'm gonna finish this up real quick. I'll document more later. It's starting to get long. Even the 37mm gun's wrong, but I'll document that later. And like I said, the weapons and all the gear are kind of off. So, I definitely found myself a lemon. I thought it was going to be a cool looking little kit, but all these little errors add up to this being really a weird looking vehicle when it's done. It looks like a Kettenkrad, but if you look closely, it's not. So here's my lemon build for the lemon group build. Hope everybody gets involved. I know Alex is jamming on with his Enterprise. The Mad Mauler, he's getting his car together. Mark from Speedy 197, he's going to get his Typhoon going. I'm going to hear a bunch of other people get involved, fellas. Let's make this a great lemon group build. Till next time, Panzerman Bill, Panzerman's Bunker saying, Auf Wiedersehen and join in the group build or else we will find you. Tschüss.